Uttarakhand, a beautiful hill state of India, is located besides Himalayas, the highest snow-covered mountains of the world. This spectacular place is identified by the high mountains of Nanda Devi range, and it is a source of holy rivers like Ganga and Yamuna. The religious places of Hindus and Sikhs, such as Badrinath, Kedarnath, and Hemkund Sahib, are the most significant destinations of this holy land. The divine beauty of this place not only charms the mind and soul of humans, but it is believed to have allured the gods, and that is why it is also known as Devabhumi, the abode of gods. Uttarakhand, being a land of holy rivers, temples and shrines, has ruled the hearts of people for centuries. With gradual development in the state, commutable motor routes reached most of the inaccessible parts of Uttarakhand. This made the journey to the religious and beautiful tourist places of the state convenient by saving time and energy of the visitors. Subsequently, the number of devotees and tourists increased, and thousands of vehicles started running on the roads. Now this land is flooded with devotees and tourists from all over India and abroad. This is because the divine power and natural beauty of this place beckons one and all. Devotees who have faith in the divine, and the tourists who enjoy the beauty of nature with its divine power, both develop the tourism of the state and become a source of economic growth. This has opened good employment opportunities for the youth of the region. Good business prospects have also developed for the common people as well as for the rich. A very large number of tourists coming to this place knew the importance and true picture of Uttarakhand. It is a matter of pride for the people of this state as well as a good source of income. But to save this place from pollution, greater awareness and preventive measures need to be taken by the tourists and, more importantly, by the local residents and the government. The dangers of pollution due to the growing number of people visiting this place is a matter of grave concern and calls for taking remedial measures to save the environment. Some of the most affected areas, along with the other holy and tourist places in the state, are Valley of Flowers, Hemkund Shrine, and mountains of Nanda Devi range, where due to the large number of devotees and tourists, the danger of ecological imbalance is greatly increasing. The world-famous Valley of Flowers is situated in district Chamoli of Uttarakhand. In 1988, under UNESCO's Program on Man and the Biosphere, the Valley of Flowers was declared a Natural World Heritage. Its beauty attracts tourists from all parts of the world. Pilgrims and tourists from Rishikesh reach up to Govind Ghat by vehicles. From Govind Ghat to Ghangaria, there is a 14 kilometers long steep trek. From there, after climbing 5 kilometers straight steep trek, pilgrims reach Hemkund Sahib. There is a large glacial lake of ice blue water and Gurdwara Sri Hemkund Sahib, which is an architectural wonder in its own. It is a very important pilgrimage for Sikhs, Hindus, and also for people believing in other faiths. The pleasure of experiencing the ethereal atmosphere of this place can only be felt and cannot be described in words. The attraction of this place pulls devotees and tourists here in large numbers like a magnet. Every year, around 5 lakh devotees visit this place. The visit by such a large number of pilgrims to Hemkund Shrine and Valley of Flowers is causing grave harm to the sensitive biodiversity in the area. In the 19-kilometer stretch of Hemkund Shrine and Valley of Flowers, plastic containers, polythene bags, wrappers, and thousands of metric tons of waste is thrown by the visitors, spoiling the environment of these places. This is causing danger to humans, flora, and fauna, creating an imbalance in the ecosystem of the hills. This grave problem drew the attention of the government. For protection of the pristine environment of this region, the Government of India took some stringent and much-needed decisions. In 1983, in Nanda Devi National Park, mountaineering at Nanda Devi Mountains, trekking and camping was banned in this area. In 1982, the Government of India accorded the status of a national park to the Valley of Flowers. But for protecting the ecological balance of this world-famous Flowers Valley, a lot more was yet to be done. On 18th January 1983, the Government of India founded the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve with a total area of 2,236 square kilometers under the UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program. Founding the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve was a positive step taken by the government for the environment of the hills. But the local residents were highly disappointed with this decision. In their opinion, the ban on tourist activities in the area covered by Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve would badly affect their sources of income. Gradually, resentment in the people increased against this policy of the government, and people started uniting to oppose this.
इस घाटी में हमारे पास काफ़ी जो है वो जंगल थे और उस जंगल को सरकार ने, भारत सरकार ने इसलिए हमको दिया था क्योंकि हमारा एकमात्र जो व्यवसाय है यहाँ पर वो ये है कि हम लोग गाय, बकरी, भैंस ये पाल करके हम अपना गुजारा करते हैं। हमारे एक एक परिवार का जो है यहाँ पर कम से कम 200-100 मिनिमम जो है वो उसमें बकरियाँ होती हैं। सरकार ने जो है, फॉरेस्ट ने जो है जब वहाँ वो बना दिया, उसको नेशनल पार्क घोषित कर दिया और हमारी कागभूषण की जितनी भी जाती थी, ये बकरी, गाय वगैरह जो भी जाते थे वो बंद कर दिया। डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स में जो जाते थे वो बंद कर दिया और इवन घांगरिया में और ऊपर जो हेमकुंड साइड को जाते थे वो बंद हो गए।
the government seriously thought over the sensitive issue. It agreed that the protection of livelihoods was as important as the protection of the ecological system. The government gave priority to this issue and passed instructions to the concerned departments to study and resolve the problem. The worthy officers of the Nanda Devi National Park, Mrs. Jyotsna Sitling and Mr. A.K. Banerjee, were well aware of the sentiments of the local people and the sensitive nature of the issue. The main challenge before the team members was to pacify the local people by providing them with means of earning and to balance it with the ecological system in the Nanda Devi National Park zone. The team members reached the conclusion that to strengthen the socio-economic structure, a new effective management strategy was to be developed by redefining and repositioning the present conservation strategy. The park authorities adopted a threefold community involvement strategy based on conservation and livelihood needs of the area. This comprised, firstly, the Nanda Devi National Park strategy, with focus on the 4 entrance villages of the park to create livelihood options linking the community with conservation. Secondly, the Valley of Flowers National Park strategy that created multi-stakeholder partnership to evolve systems on environmentally responsible mass tourism, especially with 2 entrance villages of the park. And thirdly, the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve strategy involving community institutions of the remaining 41 villages of NDBR through capacity building, access and equity concerns in livelihoods for their positive involvement in the conservation effort. To implement the new strategy, first of all, it was essential to train the park staff. In 2002, training and workshop programs for park staff were organized so that they could understand the importance of the livelihoods of the locals and could learn the methods of implementing conservation management process. Their next step was to convince the local people and to regain their faith in this mission of the government. And for this purpose, the park officials planned to make the local youth, men and women part of this conservation program. Women are the backbone of the NDBR economy. More women than men were trained with farm products for eco-tourism product development trainings. These steps encouraged the active participation of the local community and especially that of women in terms of checking forest fires, nabbing illegal poachers and herb collectors, and in maintenance and cleanliness of far-flung trek routes and camping sites and the water bodies in the Valley of Flowers National Park. The local youth were developed as a skilled human resource to promote local biodiversity, folklore and culture, adventure sports, and for accident mitigation in the high hills. The local tour operators were organized for larger bargaining power through proper market networking. 11 local tour operators